Hello everyone, my name is Clantis and welcome to my YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's get into today's video where I am going to be dropping an update from Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, the Minister of Home Affairs, who held a press briefing this morning on the 22nd of May 2023. Basically, in this press conference, he was dropping some few bombshells that I thought are very important for this video. So we can kind of like break it down a little bit like how we always do with the story of Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipa Magudumana. So basically, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi was updating South Africans about the issuing of a new ID card. Apparently, that's what it's called, smart card as it's called, as well as a birth certificate for Thabo Bester. Remember, Thabo Bester has never had a birth certificate nor an ID document proving him that he's a South African citizen. So Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi kind of like broke it down to us how we got to this point where Thabo Bester was issued with a new South African ID smart card. So it all began, as you guys already know, that Thabo Bester is a convicted criminal who has committed heinous crimes in the past, and he was convicted in 2012. And he has never had an ID for that matter. And so we also know that his mother, Mercy Mabaso, is Thabo Bester's mother, as she had claimed that he is. So for Aaron Motsoaledi to confirm that indeed Mercy Mabaso is Thabo Bester's mother, they had to conduct a DNA test, which came back and proved that Thabo Bester is indeed Mercy Mabaso's son. I think the test proved 99% that indeed she is the mother of Thabo Bester, and the process of getting Thabo Bester a ID began. Oh, also his records that he attended a primary school in the south of Johannesburg were also submitted to Home Affairs. And now the identification journey began for Thabo Bester to the point where now he has a birth certificate and a ID. And so Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi was just updating us that he has now an ID. He can be identified as Thabo Bester. And the other thing that he also wanted South Africans to know that this process was not a secret, as they went to Jose Mampuru prison with the Home Affairs bus truck, which is written Home Affairs. And also, while they were processing Thabo Bester's identification, they also managed to shoot multiple birds with one stone. In case you were not aware, some South Africans have the green barcoded ID. Myself, I still have it. And another part of the population have the new identity smart card, which any South African has the right to go to any Home Affairs and say, hey, can I convert my green barcoded ID to the ID smart card? Speaking of smart card, I want to know, those of you who have it, what's smart about it? What has it done that was smart for you? Can you withdraw money from an ATM using your ID? Can you, I don't know, things of that nature? Please comment down below and let me know. And secondly, did you pay for your citizenship? Because the last time I checked, whenever a South African citizen went to Home Affairs to get an ID or get an ID replaced, you were never charged a cent. So now I'm trying to understand why now we have to pay to get our South African ID, which is the smart card, and who did I consult with, because I don't remember being consulted about this issue. But I digress. And speaking of paying for your ID, did Thabo Bester pay a cent for him to get an identity document, or he's just a special South African at this point, and the rest of us, well, deal with it? I digress again. So basically, the ID does confirm that Thabo Bester was born on the 13th of June 1986 at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital, who also submitted documents to prove that indeed he was born in Baragwanath Hospital in 1986. Then the second part of Dr. Motsoaledi's press conference was about Dr. Nandipa Magudumana making or lodging an urgent application at the Bloemfontein High Court where she basically wants her freedom back. And she also accused South Africa of abduction, and she wants this to be reversed as it was done wrongfully and unlawfully. So I was quite surprised when Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi mentioned that Home Affairs is nowhere in the citation of Dr. Magudumana's application to the Bloemfontein High Court. Now, what is a citation? Is a citation, it is where me, if I want to sue you, in the citation it will be written Ndutugo Clentus Dumagute versus you. That's citation. So Home Affairs, when they realized that on Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's urgent application papers, Home Affairs was not cited. For example, Dr. Nandipa Magudumana versus the Minister of Home Affairs. They were not there, but she does challenge other departments, government departments on her paper. Now, the thing is, after realizing that the papers did not include Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi then wrote to Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's lawyers, basically to request that they include the Department of Home Affairs in Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's urgent application, because they would also like to answer some few questions regarding the accusation that South Africa kidnapped her from Tanzania. So the question that I'm also asking myself is, why would Dr. Nandipa Magudumana omit or exclude the Department of Home Affairs, considering the fact that when she was brought to South Africa from Tanzania, that entire process was conducted or executed by the Department of Home Affairs, not the police? So why would then she go and challenge the Department of Police and Correctional Services and all of that, but leaves out the Department of Home Affairs? Is it possible that the Department of Home Affairs does have the documents that she is demanding in this application on Thursday? So if the Department of Home Affairs does have those documents that she's requesting, then of course this will be futile application for her. Hence, she decided to kind of like snub them and went for where she knows that she's not going to get these documents that she's demanding, so that she can delay this process even further. Now, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi said that if the lawyers do not add the Department of Home Affairs as a citation on Dr. Magudumana's application on Thursday, they will definitely be present at the Bloemfontein High Court. I'm not quite sure to do what, but Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi is asking that the matter be struck off the urgent roll of the Bloemfontein High Court, so that it will give an opportunity to Dr. Nandipa Magudumana and her legal team to include Home Affairs when they re-lodge this application. Now, the question is, will Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's lawyers agree, or they will just dispute or ignore the Minister of Home Affairs and go ahead anyway and continue with the urgent application hearing on Thursday? I don't think that the judges are that stupid either, because when they look at the citation, they would also want to know who was responsible in the process of bringing Dr. Nandipa Magudumana and Thabo Bester to South Africa. And of course, it's going to be revealed that it's the Department of Home Affairs. And of course, those judges or that judge will want to know, where is the Department of Home Affairs on the papers? Where are they? And if I was a judge, that would also be the first thing that I would want to know as well. And which kind of like makes Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's case even weaker than before. Number one, she still has to jump the hurdle of urgency. What's so urgent about her application before the court could even hear the merits of her case? Now, Home Affairs is missing. She has to answer why Home Affairs is missing on her papers. Dr. Nandipa Magudumana is definitely a hostile applicant in this matter, considering the fact that when she was caught in Tanzania, she had three passports on her, one of her own and two of Dr. Pashy's. Now, speaking of Dr. Pashy, remember Dr. Pashy came guns blazing, basically sent a cease and desist letter to the Minister of Home Affairs, asking him to stop spreading lies about her, because those lies were affecting her career or her profession where some of her colleagues are now refusing to work with her because they're making the assumption that she assisted Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipa Magudumana to escape the country. So Dr. Motsoaledi then did make an apology, part of the apology, because he is adamant that Dr. Pashy did depose an affidavit where she said her first passport was stolen. And then she also said in the same affidavit that she gave her passport to Dr. Nandipa Magudumana as well as TK Ngwana to help her find a job in the United States. So he says he's not going to apologize for that because that is on her affidavit. However, he does apologize that she deposed two affidavits. That is, if I understood him correctly there. So yes, Dr. Pashy did get her public apology from the Minister of Home Affairs when I'm not quite sure what this apology is going to do for her because I think that ship has sailed. People are looking at her with the bombastic side eye like, hey, what's happening? Say something. And I still feel that people that have come across Thabo Bester before, whether he was TK Ngwana or he was Webster or whatever he was, if you know that you may have came across him, I still think that you should go to the police and say, hey, listen, I did meet Thabo Bester. I did not know that he was Thabo Bester. I'm willing to answer any questions regarding that. Me being involved in whatever he was involved with, no, I wasn't. If you are called as a witness during his trial, then probably you will be a state witness of some sort. If you were involved in things that Thabo Bester was doing outside that were corrupt, because I don't think we are only going to be focusing on his escape, but I'm sure there are other corruption and fraudulent activities that he was engaging in while he was a free man. And if you find yourself or think you may have been in some kind of an activity with Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipa Magudumana, this is your time to hand yourself over and bargain with the state by saying, I'm willing to be a state witness, provided with whatever negotiations you are going to have with the state. This is if this entire case really goes south for Dr. Nandipa Magudumana and Thabo Bester. But at the same time, just sitting and hoping that nobody's going to point you out that is actually skating on thin ice, I would say, hey, go right ahead. Say, I'm involved somewhere, somehow. I may have not been aware of who this man was, but I do remember meeting him. I do remember signing a contract. I do remember executing an activity he had asked me or instructed me to execute. It's still time. You know, just a side note, I'm still trying to figure how a whole doctor would hand over her passports to civilians to assist her get a job in another country. There are legal processes for that. There are embassies of those countries that you could go to, starting with your own home affairs. Start those processes. Why would you go to people that, okay, never mind. Like I said, it's just a side note. I'm just a little bit confused there. So during Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi's press conference, he then dropped a bombshell where he said he got good legal advice that he does have legal grounds to revoke Dr. Nandipa Magudumana's passport. In my mind, I was like, that's a little bit overreaching as far as the Constitution is concerned, because in our Bill of Rights, we have a fundamental constitutional right that is enshrined in our Constitution, which basically speaks about freedom of movement. Let me try and check it out for you. So I have here the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa in my possession, and I will go to the Bill of Rights. This is chapter 2, the Bill of Rights right there. And then we go under section... give me a sec. Yep, we go to section 21 subsection 1, which reads, everyone has the right to freedom of movement, everyone has the right to leave the republic, every citizen has the right to enter, to remain in, and to reside anywhere in the republic. Every citizen has the right to a passport. That is section 21, subsection 4. Every citizen has the right to a passport. So I don't think this one is going to work out for Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, because it is a fundamental constitutional right. Whoever advised them on that, I think they kind of like missed the train on that one. Because Dr. Nandipa Magudumana, after her passport is revoked, she will go to the Constitutional Court, like directly to the Constitutional Court. And the Constitutional Court takes chapter 2 of our Constitution very, very seriously, and they will have an issue with the minister for revoking her fundamental constitutional right to have a passport. Whether she's a convict or not a convict, I think if she is found guilty, the Minister of Home Affairs would just have to let her be until her passport expires in 2027. I think if Dr. Nandipa Magudumana had to go to the Constitutional Court to challenge her passport being revoked by the Minister of Home Affairs, the Constitutional Court will either instruct the minister to find within the law a lesser execution than basically revoking her passport. Because Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi said that Dr. Nandipa Magudumana does not deserve the South African passport. On that one, you're walking on a very shaky ground, Minister. So basically, that is my prediction about Dr. Nandipa Magudumana. After finding out if the minister does revoke her passport, she will definitely lodge an application at the Constitutional Court where she will challenge the minister on his decision to revoke her passport, because it is a fundamental constitutional right. Yes, incarceration and probably serving a lengthy sentence in prison. A lengthy sentence in prison does withhold her from traveling anywhere she might want to go. She'll be confined in her cell or in that prison until she has served her full sentences or whatever she's going to get. That is if she is found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt on all the charges that are laid before her. So, well, guys, I think this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a like and do leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of this press update by the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi. And also share this video far and wide. I highly appreciate all the comments. I do read them all. I do respond to every comment. And also, I'm on Instagram at Clantis_Dumagude. If you want to leave me a question regarding this case, I do take my time. I do have a 9 to 5, and in between, I do take my time to read up on some few things that I'm going to speak about on my videos. So that's what I do. And I appreciate every one of you. I'm enjoying creating these videos for some reason. And let's see each other again in my next video. Goodbye.